Hey guys, long time no see, but I've been busy with some awesome games, and let me tell you, within the past week, Fallout 3, LittleBigPlanet, man oh man, have I one of the biggest weeks in gaming for me ever. So I figured what I'd start doing now is I'll just do, sometimes I'll do episodes on what I'm playing. If I go back and play some older games, I'll do episodes on what games I bought. I'll do reviews, and I'll do those videos where I just go off on, top 10 lists or something like that. But anyway, here's an episode of some of the games I picked up recently, and I guess I'll start with some of the older stuff that I picked up first, and the oldest one being Trauma Center Second Opinion for the Wii. Now, I haven't played this yet, but it was an impulse buy online on a trading website. Guy was selling it for $6, $2 shipping, so I got this game for $8. Haven't tried it yet, but Trauma Center on this DS was awesome, so I'll definitely try this probably way later on, because there's some really good games out right now. After that, I went out and I picked up the long-awaited Castlevania Order of Ecclesia, and let me tell you, this game here, much harder than the other two DS Castlevanias, Portrait of Ruin and Dawn of Sorrow. The reason being, the bosses are back to being like classic 2D bosses that you would usually fight. You have to learn the patterns. They're very hard. Any of you that do buy the game, you'll know which boss I'm talking about, which would be the lighthouse boss, the giant enemy crab boss. That one took me quite a few tries to learn the pattern on it. I'm talking, 15 tries to learn this thing's pattern. Really awesome soundtrack yet again. I really like the whole magic system over weapons. It's definitely bringing something unique to the Castlevania series. Graphics really good as well. Highly recommended for any 2D platformer fans. Really one of the best games available on the system. Not as good as Dawn of Sorrow, better than Portrait of Ruin in my opinion. On the same day, I also picked up, this was another one where I was like, man, I forgot that game was coming out. So I bought it. Retails for $40. Star Ocean First Departure for the PSP. Now, I was a very big fan of Star Ocean Second Story on PlayStation 1. I love the graphical things that they did with the sprites that enlarged and got smaller, and the static backgrounds. I'm a very big fan of static background RPGs, and this game is one of the best looking PSP games I've played. If you're not a fan of 3D polygons, and if you are a fan of 3D polygons and you hate like static backgrounds, this is one of the worst games you could pick up, because the static backgrounds, it's one of the, if you love the graphics of Final Fantasy VII and you think you would like it with some, really well-drawn sprites, this game's great. Full voice acting for almost everything. The story is actually really good. I'm about 3 or 4 hours into it. I'm enjoying it a lot so far, but I've lost, I've lost my interest in getting too much further in it because I picked up some other awesome games which I'm about to get to. Now, I picked this one up a while ago as well, but I haven't made a video to talk about it yet, really. And that's SOCOM Confrontation on PS3. If you remember back my Addicted Games video, this was on the top of my list, the SOCOM series. SOCOM Confrontation in the beginning suffered from many server issues, a lot of booting. You would get disconnected a lot. They've worked a lot of those kinks out. Being in the beta, they still had a lot to fix from that. I'm playing with old people I know. Graphics are really good. The 7 maps are really varied. Some of the old classic favorites in there as well. However, there are still some problems with it. If you're the type of person that plays Halo and Call of Duty, avoid this game at all costs, unless you want to rent it. Basically, anybody that just has played those games in those series, they really don't like this game. They don't understand it. They play respawn rooms. SOCOM is meant for tactical gameplay. You die, you wait, you sit out the round. Don't play respawn unless you need to practice. Don't go into that expecting this. But I was playing this a lot. I'd say I've probably got about 100 hours in here maybe already, because before these next 2 games came out, this is all I was playing for all day, basically, almost. Next up we have, I guess I'll just go with the one that I played first when I got home, that being Fallout 3. Now, if you watched my Collector's Edition video, thank you, by the way, for all my new subscribers. I got quite a few new people just from that video, so thanks to those who enjoyed that video of me unboxing the Collector's Edition. Fallout 3, I'm about 12 hours in. Really enjoying it so far. Not sure if I like it as much as Oblivion, if not maybe equal, which is really good because that's one of my favorite games of all time. Fallout, basically is not Oblivion with guns, people. It takes on a whole new system. The only thing it has in common are the voice conversations with NPCs. You know, it has that same kind of style, and the voice, the options that you have with speech with NPCs. And besides that, just the open world where you can kind of take on all these subquests in a first or crappy third-person view. Besides that, the combat system is not really... Now, when people think of Fallout, they might think, oh, that's that third-person shooter Oblivion type game, right? No. The first-person shooting, it's really actually not that accurate. It's not that great, you know, if you think of it in a Call of Duty type sense. You're kind of forced almost to use the VAT system, which is where you can stop time, pick body parts. Because if you go throughout the whole game just, you know, doing the active combat type of stuff, you're going to find that most enemies you can't really take down that way, or the aiming is just very... It feels like an unpolished shooter if you play it that way. However, the VAT system is very satisfying. You would think you could just aim for the head all the time, but no, sometimes you got to take out, you know, the leg of a really strong enemy. I find it very addicting, and like almost everybody else has said, it doesn't get old. So that's really, really something unique about the game that really no other games out there have right now, where you can target body parts frozen in time. Once you use up your points for certain bullets that you can do while time is frozen, you go back to the active combat. The world is amazing. I really have never played anything like it. I've never played the other Fallout games before. It's fully realized, much better than Oblivion. In Oblivion, you know, you travel around the world and you'd find caverns and dungeons. They all kind of look the same, you know, nothing was really unique. Fallout is littered with unique locations where, you know, you got that dungeon under the bridge where it's these guys that are like vampires, or you got a city or a little town, desolate town on top of a bridge where, you know, they got it barricaded off for intruders. There's the city that's focused around a bomb and a crater. You know, all these different types of things where each dungeon is not the same. You know, sure, they repeat textures and they repeat enemies and all this stuff, but really each location feels unique. Abandoned town with landmines, you know, just stuff like that that keeps it different, varied, keeps you interested, keeps you wanting to explore for the next village. But before I run out of time, I do want to get into the next game. Let me just say that, you know, last thing about Fallout is it's addictive to level up. All the different perks, all the different skills that you can choose. It keeps you wanting to play, keeps you wanting to get experience, keep on advancing. You really have a sense of advancement when you make your character. I spent about an hour and a half just figuring out what kind of character I wanted to make when I got home with this game. So much so that I might have screwed him up a little bit because I just wanted to get in there and play it. But really, really good. I'll get into this more depth later because I have 2 minutes to talk about the other game which I've been playing a ton of. LittleBigPlanet. Probably one of my most anticipated games of the year, and it totally lives up to the hype. I spent about 40 hours or more making my first level, which, here's the name of it right down here. It's Game World Volume 1, where I basically took, with my PlayStation camera, I included all types of video game characters, video game themes. You know, I just went crazy with this. Some of my favorite games I included in there. You know, I got a boss fight at the end with something that's very unexpected. I won't spoil it for those of you, but definitely check it out. If you have LittleBigPlanet, just go to search levels, type in Game World, or my name, I think, and that might come up. Definitely try it out. Let me know what you guys think. But man, user-created levels, there's some really, really awesome ones out there. Single player, the developers' levels are really awesome. It's fun to collect new stickers and things that you can use. Now, I'm not a fan of using developer-created content. I like to make my own, which is why it took me, you know, 40+ hours to make this one level, which if you're skilled, you can get through it in maybe 5 to 7 minutes. If you're not as skilled at LittleBigPlanet, it's a pretty tough level. So definitely push on to beat it. It's definitely worth it. I put a lot of hard work into it. But playing online and co-op is really, really awesome as well. Graphics, the soundtrack is really good. Definitely, if you own a PS3, you have to buy LittleBigPlanet. If you guys want to try out my level, if you have suggestions for my next level, if you have a level you want me to try out, send me a comment for this video, and I'll gladly try it out. Well, thanks for watching this video, guys. Until I pick up more games, which is going to be pretty soon, thanks for watching, and see you.